Let's now turn our attention to the world of legal decisions and craziness. This is Law and Disorder.
In the criminal justice system, the people,
pimps, addicts, thieves, bums, winos, girls who can't keep an address, and men who don't care,
are represented by two separate yet equally important groups.
A cop, a flatfoot, a bull, a dick, John Law. You're the fuzz, the heat, you're poison, you're trouble, you're bad news.
These are their stories.
Well, corrupt Clarence Thomas has never met a vacation he doesn't want to take. Yeah.
I prefer the Walmart parking lots.
He might prefer the Walmart parking lots, but man, for a guy who likes the Walmart parking lots, he takes a lot of cruises and private flights and yacht weeks, and he goes to expensive sporting events, expensive when you
VIP tickets. Yeah, hey.
Yeah, VIP when you sit down close. At least 38 destination vacations. And this is the ProPublica other shoe that's dropped. You know, they had the original report. This latest is on Clarence Thomas's rich pals and how they have feted him. They have entertained Clarence Thomas in every way. Of course, what's odd is he just didn't really take any of those big banging vacations before he became a Supreme Court justice. It's just weird.
I prefer the Walmart parking lots.
I think he kind of never preferred the Walmart parking lots is what I would guess. But it's just funny how all of these super wealthy people have entertained Clarence Thomas. These are all revelations that rich benefactors, many donors to conservative causes. We mentioned Harlan Crow, who is his super big buddy, the real estate magnate, how he has taken care of Clarence Thomas. In fact, as you'll recall, he has not only luxury holidays and various vacations that he's bestowed upon Clarence Thomas, but Crow picked up Clarence Thomas's mother's real estate, right? Got the house, remodeled it for her. It's great. She's living there rent-free. And paid for the schools of Clarence Thomas's grandnephew. Also, Sam Alito and Paul Singer, who's another billionaire, seem to have a relationship. So it seems that the SCOTUS justices are, well, they're very tight with big money and big business. And as you know, a lot of big business does have business before the court. We told you about the healthcare involved billionaire, meaning he has a healthcare business, and how he had business involving healthcare in front of the Supreme Court. So it does seem to happen coincidentally. Clarence Thomas did not comment on the new report about his 38 vacations at the gift of businessmen, including Wayne Huizenga. He used to own the Miami Dolphins. And David Sokol and Paul Novelli. These trips included luxury golf resort visits and expensive college football tickets. Sokol told ProPublica, he's one of the billionaires, that he and Thomas, quote, have never once discussed any pending court matter. Our conversations have always revolved around helping young people. As to the use of private aviation, I believe that given security concerns, all of the Supreme Court justices should either fly privately or on governmental aircraft, he says. ProPublica is being attacked on social media. Another smear job, people are saying, who are conservatives. Meanwhile, ProPublica described how at a luxury lodge in Wyoming, Thomas and his wife, the far-right activist Ginny Thomas. Where's my Ginny Thomas drop?
I would like to thank a great woman named Ginny Thomas.
Yeah, that's it. They fished, rafted on the Snake River, and sat by a campfire overlooking the Teton Range alongside other couples.
It's fantastic.
Yeah, I'm sure it was great.
It was great. I loved it.
Thomas's love of luxury travel has been described elsewhere. The New York Times recently reported how Anthony Welter's, a healthcare magnate, this is the one I was talking about, financed Thomas's purchase of a luxury motorhome, that RV we spoke of earlier in the week. In its new report, ProPublica also reviewed records showing how the Horatio Alger Association, to which Thomas belongs, has a link raising money by offering donors seats at an event at the Supreme Court. And it goes on. It's clear, I think it's very clear, that Clarence Thomas is surrounded by a lot of billionaire benefactors who are showering him with gifts, with vacations, and with other benefits of being around billionaires. It's hard to imagine that that's just coincidence.
I have a question. Something I was thinking about last night as I was reading about all of his luxury trips and VIP tickets and the things that have happened and the rolling around in the mansion bus. I always thought being a Supreme Court justice was a really big job. Like, this is something that takes up your whole life. Like, you're appointed for life, but it consumes it's your passion. It's your every waking moment, right? He's got a lot of extra time on his hands to take all these vacations. I'm just thinking, maybe I thought it was a big job. Maybe it's a cush job. Maybe like you work for a few months and the rest of it, you're traveling and having the time of your life.
I think it's a very difficult job if it's done well. There are a lot of cases that there isn't any clear judgment that can be made on a bunch of cases that face the court. There was actually a really good op-ed, I want to say it might have run last Sunday, it was from a former clerk at the Supreme Court, and it was about the fact that some of these cases are so difficult that you really need the words, "I don't know," to enter into your thinking. This clerk, had written decisions for justices at the Supreme Court level. I mean, helped to write them, okay? And said that he'd put them aside and go home, think about them, and then actually come to a different conclusion and rewrite the decision the other way. So that's how close some of these calls can be. So I think it's a hard job done well. To be fair, they do get vacation time. I mean, the court's not in session, So, but
I guess they get a lot of vacation time. Yeah. I guess. I'm just saying. He's going an awful lot of the 38 vacations. Plus he is the working house bus. Plus the VIP tickets. I mean, come on.
Yeah, well, he is.
I come from regular style.
I can't. He is working a lot of vacation time in between decisions. The thing that's easy for Clarence Thomas is he's already made the decisions, right? He's not going to recuse himself from anything with his wife. Those messages, he's pretty much a rubber stamp on all that extreme right-wing stuff that comes out of the court. So if you look at it that way, then you don't really have to think much. You know what I mean? So
that's why it's a cush job, because when you say if it's done right, and that, you're writing different decisions and your different opinions and you don't know, it means that you have to spend days, weeks, months thinking about different arguments, thinking about law and the application of it.
Yeah, reflecting on that, the testimony and arguments,
It occupies your thoughts and everything you do, right? And you're thinking all the time. I don't think that Mr. Thomas is thinking all the time. I think he, like you said, he knows how he's gonna vote. He,
he's thinking, but it's not about.
He's thinking about the next VIP ticket. Who's going to give me the stuff next?
You've got it.
Yeah.
The federal judge overseeing the election conspiracy case against Donald Trump agreed with the defense on a looser version of a protective order for evidence in the case, but the defense, I'll remind you, is defense of Donald Trump. But she largely sided with the prosecution on what sensitive material should be protected, as she vowed to keep politics out of her rulings. U.S. District Judge Tanya Chutkin in Washington just today repeatedly said that Trump was subject to the court's rules as a defendant before trial, even though he is also running for president in the same time period. And she warned that she would not let political considerations affect her rulings. Your client's defense is supposed to happen in this courtroom, not on the internet, the judge said. But she rejected prosecutors' broader protective order proposal that sought to prevent the public airing of all evidence they hand over to Trump's defense. So that's kind of a big ruling, mixed ruling. She seemed poised to impose a more limited protective order that would bar the public release only of materials deemed, quote, sensitive, like grand jury materials. And quickly, SCOTUS has said no to the opioid settlement. The Supreme Court put OxyContin maker Purdue Pharma's bankruptcy settlement on hold Thursday in an order siding with the Biden administration's request to re-examine provisions shielding the Sackler family from liability, right? They made a deal that said, hey, we'll pay the $6 billion. Now we're essentially indemnified from any other legal action. The single-page order does not contain a breakdown of the 9 justices' votes. It directs the parties to present their arguments before the high court in December. So it's a stay for the moment, all right? And Brett Favre has not gotten out of trouble. The Mississippi Supreme Court will not dismiss former NFL quarterback Brett Favre from the welfare scheme civil lawsuit that's underway. A 3-justice panel issued an order denying Favre's appeal. Again, they're trying to recoup millions of dollars that was part of a statewide welfare fraud scheme, and Brett Favre has been named in that scheme. More than $77 million was improperly used from the welfare program meant for the neediest families in Mississippi.
What?
Yeah, got spent on expensive cars, private schools, pet project of celebrities, and the politically connected.
I can't imagine more of a slime ball thing to do, to steal money from the poorest of the poor. Really?
Yeah.
And you're loaded, right?
And ex-Raiders receiver Henry Ruggs III gets 3 to 10 years in prison. He's the guy who was driving his car 156 miles an hour in Las Vegas. He had 0.16 on the blood alcohol level when he crashed his Corvette into another car, killed a woman and her dog on November 2nd in 2021. And that former Las Vegas Raiders wide receiver will go to prison. 3 to 10 years. He pleaded guilty to a felony count of DUI resulting in death and misdemeanor manslaughter in that crash. Tina Tintor, 23, was killed. 156 mile an hour ride in his Corvette crashed into her Toyota RAV4. So sad. He's going to prison. That's Law and Disorder for today.
Tune in again next time for more Law and Disorder on The Mark Thompson Show.
All right, that's it. Let's roll. Hey, let's be careful out there.